Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Kraus, and I'm here with Todd Desatnik. I'm here with Eric Berg, and I'm here with Michael Tilsner. And Mike and Eric are the owners of Delaware Bay Shipbuilding Co. And they are here to tell us a little bit about how they got started and pretty much where they are today. So, how did you guys get started?
So we got started. I went to Cape May County Technical High School, awesome school, and started out in the welding program and mechanics. And I started a company called Yank Marine in 1998. I went through the work program in high school there, so learned most of my skill there. And here we are today. We started our own company. We learned to trade from John Yank, boat building, repair. Mainly aluminum, steel, any kind of mechanicals you can imagine on a boat, we do it.
How did you guys really meet?
So Eric and I met at the boatyard. Eric was working for a diesel company, and he actually wanted to switch up trades because he was quitting his summer job, which was running a tour boat, the Silver Bullet in Wildwood. So he wanted more of a full-time employment, and we kind of hit it off as mechanics and managers of a shipyard, and kind of, came up with this whole idea. I guess it's the American dream. We started our own company, and here we are 5 years later, and we're just about 4 boats deep, of new builds, and got a couple prospective jobs.
And now, what do you think was the most challenging boat you have built thus far?
It would be this one.
I would definitely say this oyster boat that we're standing on was definitely the most challenging.
So yeah, mechanically, this boat that we're standing on, had to be modeled after a boat that was built in the 1800s. So there was a lot of similarities in hull shape and mechanical things on here. There's conveyor belts and a lot of moving pieces. 3 different metals. We got stainless steel, aluminum, and steel. That's pretty much it. I mean, we've been involved in over, I would say 60 boat builds,
Probably
new boat builds
over the years.
And we've never built the same boat yet. We would love to someday.
Every single one presents its own unique set of challenges.
So how about to get to a level to be able to build a boat like this, you needed to create a yard. So you guys have turned into real estate investors.
Yes.
And you have an operating yard here beyond simply boat building.
Right. So we have, we landed on this property. It was a pretty good deal. We invested in a different property. It was a 100-acre farm field, and we went through all the growing pains of turning that into a industrial, boat yard. And we had another opportunity presented to us that we could jump onto a existing boat yard and marina. So we moved pretty quickly at that and took advantage of it. So now we're up here on the beautiful Morris River in Leesburg, New Jersey. Super quiet. The river used to be very busy with recreational boats, but now it's, down to mainly commercial work in the area. Being that the Delaware Bay kind of slowed down for fishing and things like that, it's more of a commercial area, but still scenic.
And each boat is a work of art, and you two each have specialties that go into each boat, and then once these things are done, they're out there working. So you do recreational and commercial rigs, correct?
Yes, we do some recreational. More of our business is geared towards commercial. Charter boats, for fishing, say Cape May and stuff like that. We do work on some charter boats, more of the bigger party boats, the tour boats, but commercial fishing. This is really our first commercial fishing vessel we built, which it's been a dream of ours since we, probably been kids, right?
Yeah.
Eric's dad was a commercial fisherman for years out at Cape May. So, yeah, I guess to answer the question, we're mainly geared towards commercial, but we'll do
mostly
just about anything. We do have an operating marina here with slips and storage and things like that.
And you two are both hands-on, but you're growing the business from scratch, and the business is going to scale, so you're looking for more opportunities for more contracts, and
right.
That'll attract more people to end up working with you over time, I'm sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. 5 years ago when we started, it was just him and I. That was it. That was the whole company, and now we've grown to be about a dozen employees.
It should have been called Two Guys in a Truck instead of Delaware Bay Shipbuilding. We bit off a pretty big name, but it kind of helped us for getting, vendors and things like that. They see this gigantic name that these two little guys are growing into. It's like they're going to do something, So people took the risk on us.
My guess is you're going to attract more people to come work with you over time, and many people may not know, but my dream as a little kid was to be a naval architect, which never came to fruition, but it's always intriguing.
We're still hiring a naval architect, Todd, so we might need you.
Second chance hope for me. But there could be younger people in our area that want to have careers in the industry, and it sounds like you guys have a platform here that could really create upside opportunity.
Yes, we're really, we want to scale, and we want to be more of a professional shipyard. We're still pretty small. We have, we're 11 people, and, I think our sweet spot would probably be around 40 people to employ. So we're working our way towards that. We still have an infrastructure to build. Workforce is a little tough in this area for us because it's kind of a different trade. It's not just welding. It's not just mechanical. It's, we do everything from hauling a boat to cleaning the bottom to painting to any trade there is. We do it.
So what types of people would be involved with a build like this?
So it starts off with a naval architect, and then on from the naval architect we have, hydraulic vendors, we have electrical suppliers, we have, just general engineering. There's a lot that goes into a new build, and a project like this, our typical project is a year to a year and a half, from start to finish. But there's so many hands involved. We probably had 40 people involved in this boat, including the owner, because we built the boat for spec. So that's what I got.
So you built this boat, but it's now back in the slip.
Yes. And
it's back in the yard for continued maintenance and engineering?
Yes. So we built the boat, and the boat essentially has to be a transformer. It has quite a few different jobs out on the oyster grounds where it catches the oyster product for, to feed to the market. And then it also maintains the oyster bed, which, they'll collect the old oyster shell. They'll actually replant clam shell or any type of, anything the oysters will grow on is what they're looking to put on the bottom and keep their beds thriving and turn it over. And, so the oysters aren't, suffocating each other and, things like that. They pull them up, they clean their beds, they'll actually hose everything off. They let the oyster shell dry out and replant it. So where we're standing now could be 60 ton of shell, piled up to the pilot house windows, So this is definitely a unique vessel. And when it comes in for service, there's always something cooler we could do with it, and the owners they just love I guess we're kind of new school. We engineer things to the T, We built this whole boat off a 3D model where we had, every piece of this boat was at CNC cut and, delivered to the yard, So, yeah.
So,
if a future owner has an idea, they can come to you and you'll help them create it through working with a naval architect out of the gates?
Yes. So, when they come up with their idea, of course, that's the most exciting part of a project. And then to put all the pieces together is usually Eric's game, because he does a lot of the engineering, mechanical drawings, and then just the customer relation to what they want. And we essentially give the people exactly what they want, and we love the customer to be around, to be hands on the project, their team, their captains. We really want the people around that are going to be operating the vessel.
So Eric, of the boats that you've already built, what are their purposes at this point? Each individual boat. You have an oyster boat here.
So, at our previous employer, we were involved in building passenger ferries.
Okay.
High-speed passenger ferries commuter ferries for, metropolitan areas. I've been involved in building a couple of party fishing head boats in our own company. We've built 2 dive boats so far, and this oyster boat, along with serviced almost every type of boat that you could ever get in the yard, for service work.
He gave us a tour that you're going to be working with the state police and helping them get set with some new machinery.
Yeah, we do a lot of work for the state police, both repair work, refit work, that type of thing.
We do a lot for the Delaware Natural Resources, the shell fisheries in New Jersey. What else do we have? Delaware State Police. So that is, it's a majority of our work, and it's really great work because it's budgeted for. And there's typically a lot of upgrades. Of course, the law enforcement, they want the best, the fastest, not quite the loudest, but
So when you guys get a new boat, it's essentially a new project, new timeline, and there could be 20 employees working on it, or there could be 10. So how do you construct that to your team as the owners of this company?
You can answer that.
That's probably one of the toughest things we deal with, is having the right talent at the right time, the right amount of it, keeping everybody on schedule. In our small company, we more handle that just on a day-to-day basis of just, I don't know how to explain it.
What direction a man goes in the morning,
Yeah,
or woman.
Yeah, it's really just day-to-day of, this is what we're going to tackle today. Let's get this done. Make every day as productive as possible.
The priorities in a small company, they change by the minute.
It changes, and it's, you really have to do your best to use the right guy for the right job, or you're going to be in trouble.
Well, from what you've shown us so far with this tour of the yard and these boats that you've built, you have the skill sets, and it seems as if the contracts flow through, you're going to make it happen and figure ways to get these boats built and afloat so they can do their jobs.
Absolutely.
What would you say motivates you guys to come to work every day?
Man, I don't know. We just love our job. It's
Passion.
Yeah, it is. This whole thing is driven by passion, and it motivates us when we look back 5 years ago. What we had, we were 2 guys, a couple welding machines, and a truck traveling all over the place. And in 5 years, we built some really cool stuff. Besides, the property that we now own, and our families. I guess they energize us to get here. We'd probably drive them crazy, most likely. But yeah.
So what's your 5-year plan look like?
So,
if we can keep growing at the pace and the direction that we're growing, we're planning on building a 7,000 square foot fabrication building, specifically, for boat building and repair. And to continue to grow our workforce, to hire and maintain the most skilled workforce that we possibly can for our trade.
So if someone needs a commercial boat built, we can refer them to Delaware Bay.
Absolutely. A tour boat, passenger carrying boat, commercial fishing boat, dive research vessel, survey boat. There's so many boats out there. Tugboats. We do it all.
And with the marine industry being focal pointed in our communities, it seems like there's unlimited opportunity for this business to grow over time.
There's a lot of opportunity out there now. And, the offshore wind, we never really totally banked on it, but there's going to be plenty of work and plenty of careers in that area if it ever takes off. It's really politically driven that you can't put all your eggs in that basket,
How do you guys get through the cold days?
Man, we're just tough as nails.
Bundle up.
Yeah, last week was a little tough. It's the first few weeks of the cold that really beat you up, and the first few weeks of the heat, and once you get acclimated to it, there's people that work in a lot hotter places or colder places than this, so we're pretty fortunate. We're temperate, we get to see seasons and, things like that.
So what do you guys consider the most rewarding in the boat industry?
I mean, the most rewarding thing is, man, I don't know. What do you think?
I would have to say the final finish out and sea trial and commissioning of a big project.
That is,
Whether it be a new boat that we built or just a big refit project or a repower or anything like that, is finally just seeing it all this work and all this thought and all this energy we put into it, see it finally all come together and work and do what the customer needs it to do.
Yeah, I explain it as you build a house, you can't take the house for a ride on the ocean. You can't. It's there. You could ride by it, you could see it, but you could show up. The boat's not going to be there because it's working. And it's great to see this boat has caught its quota. It's back for its, different fishery, to get switched up. So it's great to see something you built and the customer happy and they come back. So that's the biggest thing for us is the customer satisfaction. We built this boat for a 70-year-old man, and he is just tickled. And this guy is the hardest worker you probably ever met, and if we could satisfy a guy like that, I think we're doing pretty good.
So that test run is pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And now who takes the test run? Is it both of you?
So
or?
Everybody involved in the build, between engines and plumbing, and there's so many things. There's dock trials and then there's sea trials. So your engine manufacturers, they'll take a ride on the boat. They make sure performance is there. Make sure things aren't overloaded. And everything's operating properly. So that's also the cool part and it's rewarding to work. We've been working with the same guys and same manufacturers for 25 years, I guess. So we're kind of like family. It's a small industry, we could go anywhere up and down the East Coast and know somebody that we worked with,
And now if there is a challenge or a hiccup, you pretty much bring that project back, assess it, and then reevaluate?
Yes, that's Eric's job.
Yep. Sometimes you go back and double back and have to change something that didn't quite work the way you thought it would work, or made a mistake maybe on the installation or something like that. But try to keep rework to an absolute minimum.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't replace doing something right the first time.
Yeah, and it seems like you guys will get the job done, whether it's 1 time, 2 times, or maybe 10 times.
Yep.
That's what I was explaining. We have customers that we love like family, and they have a job. It's like, man, we really don't want to do it, but it's just got to do it because they need it done. They know we're going to get it done. It's sometimes not even in our ballpark of what we do, like working on Andy Barber's camper, but we do it.
So trust is a big factor with your client base.
Absolutely. The phone it's on 24 hours, and that's sometimes tough. The family doesn't see that. The phone's going to ring if you're in business, and this business doesn't sleep. That's one of the struggles with being an entrepreneur and being in this industry.
And you both have family, correct?
Yes.
And kids and a wife.
Yep, we have a whole team. Hopefully they're going to be up and coming into this. We're not sure. We're not going to push it on them, but
Well, your creations of works of art here lead to opportunities for your families. You're creating opportunities for employment for not only your co-workers, but also the people that may end up working on these rigs.
Yes.
And quite often these rigs are going to feed people in our community as well.
Right, exactly. The commercial fishing industry is so deep in Cape May County, and even up here in Cumberland County, it's it's a great industry, and everybody in it now is. It went more, I guess, what would they call it? Commercialized.
It went to bigger.
Fleet.
More
companies.
fleets, less private owners, more owners of multiple boats.
But these are the guys that work hard enough to build it into a fleet and buy up the permits and things like that.
So many of these fleets may be multi-generational, as we know. They're not going to be startups, or is it a good mix of business owners throughout the area?
I would imagine generational. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example of.
I think most of them are generational.
Yeah. I mean, Eric's dad was a generational commercial fisherman.
Going back a few years, would you guys ever think that this is where you would be today?
I knew this is where we would be today. I mean, as soon as I got in this industry, I could have been in the commercial industry or in the recreational industry, but this is home to me. You know, since I was 16 years old, I've been working with these people. You know, and it's been great. Everybody's family. Everybody works just as hard as the next person.
Yeah, when I got into the industry, I mean, I put all my effort into the commercial industry, you know, and in this area you could go either way. I think we've come a lot farther than I expected, and you know, our business grew much faster than I expected, which was, you know, certainly a pleasant surprise. But definitely set out to be where I'm at, or very, you know, close to where I'm at today.
So we appreciate you taking the time to come on our podcast. I'm Ryan Krause.
Eric Berg.
Mike Tilsner.
Tati Sadek.
And
Fish on.
Yeah, I like that.